State of Scrims. This is our third season that we're doing this, and this is our second episode so far this season. I would say not a super exciting week. Personally, I was correct on all three of my predictions, so I wasn't super surprised by any of the outcomes there. We did see a bit of an unexpected roster from Andromeda. We saw him sub in Jonah. Was expecting them to not really use their subs too much throughout the season, just based off of their history, but I do think that was pretty interesting. Forget exactly what Jonah played, but I feel like we saw the Sinzao maybe. I'm trying to figure
Uh,
out where to put all my
I think
tabs because I do really want to watch this 100 Thieves game, and if I put anything over top of us, it doesn't display it anymore. But do you have any thoughts on the game so far?
not really. I mean, games are kind of normal question mark when as expected. I'm looking at the game here in a
Yeah, I'm pulling it
second.
up right
Jonah
now.
played Udyr.
Yep. If it
Uh, Proves the champion sucks, DM, but
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I tend to not listen to Mason when he says the champ is weak, but my personal feeling was that Udyr is actually a little bit weak currently, so I was kind of surprised to see that champion come out. Julian had a really good pick here. He waited until all the picks were locked in. Varus and Syndra both are really powerful because they're able to CC frontline by themselves. Varus with his ultimate and Syndra with the scatter. And then you have three tanks. So Olaf is actually like a completely deadly pick here. Really smart stuff from Julian to go pick that for himself. If someone else in the draft did call it for him, then props to them. Obviously, I just think that pick really made that first game in the Andromeda MVP series. Call me a hater, but the Azir Quirky flex really didn't turn out as well as I was hoping it would. I think it was really cool, but Valor
yeah,
really struggled in the matchup, and Blake was doing Blake things. He kind of played a bit of the boss play style, a lot of unnecessary deaths, but his package initiations later in the game were fucking sick. And then Psycho
yeah,
Carrot completely smurfed that game. It was kind of disgusting. Insane map pressure, really good engages, playing super aggressively.
yeah. He was
Um,
really good at fishing for good hooks with the pike, so utilizing his one trick very well. Did not perform the same in the second game, but that's like a different argument
yeah,
entirely. But
I mean,
I think he just
speaking of fishing with hooks, they Andromeda did swap up their bot lane in the second game. We saw Dad go to ADC and Honing go to support. This is something that we
yeah,
mentioned could be a possibility. We saw it throughout Frostbite, and we were aware of it possibly happening for Andromeda throughout the season. And Honing completely smurfed. Like it was a really good game for him. Unfortunately, MF and Thresh are not going to be enough to win the game for you. Brewer played
yeah.
super safe on the white pick. It was fun getting to see that in season for the first time. But yeah, it just wasn't enough. Singed Wukong, and then Aphelios quietly farming up to two or three items,
Yeah.
and then just obliterating the map. It was a good series, fun watch though.
Yeah, I do think as MF, it is like sort of impossible to play into Wukong. It's like you sit there and all, and then you see a monkey dash on top of you and start spinning on you for free. So I do like the Wukong pick here. Also Julian showing that the Xin Zhao champion is kind of dog shit. He has been relentlessly telling me this champ sucks dick and balls in jungle, and maybe he's onto something. I think Wukong was a really good pick though. Had good synergy with the Ori and the Singed. Just doing the wombo combo with the Aphelios on top. Just good draft, you know. Nothing crazy, but very
Yeah,
solid
I mean,
overall.
I think Valley definitely had a better game here. As you mentioned, Evan and Psycho Carrot definitely struggled a bit more than they did in their previous games.
Yeah.
But Blake really popped off. Saw the
You mean
Singed
like okay.
proxy, crazy flanks. I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know if you didn't watch the game. Oh my God, you really should. There's a point where
Yeah.
Blake teleports to bot lane, and bro was at I think 1250 movement speed or something. Like it actually looked like something out of like a Vanderlel video. Like it was not real
Yeah, yeah.
gameplay, but
It was really funny.
really fun, good series. I'm glad we got to see some more weird picks for Blake. I think if you are hopping on the stream trying to watch a scrim game, you're not expecting the four top laners to be. I mean, Malphite and Jack, sure, but Singed and Corky, I think you're kind of stepping off base a little bit. But
Yeah.
always a pleasure to watch MVP. It's a very fun team. Their drafts very creative, and Psycho Carrot and Evan in the bot lane completely smurfing it.
Yeah.
Valor, I think it's been struggling a little bit, but He's completely sacking resources to himself in the mid lane, so I don't think you can fault him too much for it, especially into Brewer. Really tough matchup there.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty good series to watch. Definitely recommend that one. Yeah, I think Evan did really well in both games. I think he's probably very underrated as a 80 carry.
Yeah.
Him and Psycho Carrot. Psycho Carrot's a bit of a fed, but I think Evan is definitely a very stable bot laner, and you can play for him or you can play not for him and like go to other lanes. I think he's really flexible. So yeah, fun
Yeah.
series to watch.
Uh,
Go.
yeah, Evan's definitely a player I'm excited to see as we are moving into the end of the support item era. They finally fixed the support gold quest. Like, guys, this has been an issue in the game for so long. We had funneling like 5 or 6 seasons ago, and then we've been abusing it. We had the support smite top. Now we have it this season. Like, this is such a simple solution. I don't know why we didn't implement this way earlier, but I don't know. That's just me. A little bit silly, but it will
Yeah.
be nice to
Also,
get to see the 80 carries actually play 80 carries instead of like half support hybrid garbage.
yeah.
But
Also, like all of the support items are broken. Like, there's not a single bad support item that you can build. Celestial Opposition, Zazap, fucking Dreammaker. All of them are just broken. Like, nice, good job, Riot. Excellent
I mean,
job.
hey, I
Support
mean
role is
that's
not
fine. I'm
doing
all
quite as well.
for empowering supports. I just don't think we should make supports OP if everyone can be a support. You know, like I don't know.
That's true.
I just
I'm
just
against it, like as a moral issue, but
okay.
that's a different
Mason just
conversation.
hates support players, but
Yeah, a
we
little
already knew
bit.
this. So okay, moving on to the other series. This one was a little goofy. So guys, yes, good job banning Senna. However, Seraphine Sona is also really good, and Jax too. And we got it both games. I genuinely don't think there's too much else to talk about this series. Uh,
Yeah.
like I just think it's a draft difference. Like games are boring as hell. If you want to watch Aatrox's health bar like not move for 8 years while he's taking 1 billion damage, or maybe not move, but like just jiggle around a lot, like really good watch. But kind of bench games. Drago played really fucking well in the top lane. Avery did pick the signature Riven there, and Drago solo killed him pretty early on. Good stuff there. I think Joel was able to neutralize Sarvis pretty well. Sarvis definitely did have the edge in that matchup. From my perspective, Caesarius had a really good game in the second one.
Yeah.
I don't know, guys. Don't build Sterix Gage Varus when you're the only head member of your team. I'm sorry, that didn't work out. I
Yeah.
guess if you're banking on like Avery and Caesarius getting fed, you can do that. But they were getting like a little rolled at the time. I don't know. I just feel like personal take. If you are on a champion that can build full damage and carry a game, and you get 2 kills at like 4 minutes, just build damage. I don't know. Maybe it's
Yeah.
deeper than that, but I really don't think so. But again, support items getting changed. I think double enchantress bot is always going to be a little good, but as you said, the support items are really what's making it broken. So that being kind of taken away, I don't think we'll see too much of this throughout the season. Thank God. It's cringe as hell, but whatever.
Yeah. I do think game two they had a bit of a better adaptation, picking the TF so
Yeah.
Cyrus can kind of try to open up the map. I think that was a little smarter or like a little bit better. Echo did just sort of get rolled by the Galio mid lane last time, so they tried switching it up, and it did kind of work for them. They got a little bit of gold and were kind of able to bring it back in the mid game, but weren't able to really close it out. So
Yeah. I mean, to the concern of our own detriment, I don't really think anyone on the Rift Sharks really like played their hearts out that series. Like I think we played solidly. Like we weren't really like losing anywhere, but Drago fucking smurfed. So I do want to give credit where credit's due there.
uh,
I don't think casters gave him double MVP, but like I think they should have. But I don't know.
I think I
I
think
I think
one went to
Thomas. Yeah, I
Thomas.
think you
Thomas got it
got.
in the second
Yeah,
one, and then I think Drago got it in the first one, if I
yeah,
remember
that
correctly.
sounds right. But uh,
Can we talk about that?
fuck this man. Okay, so 101 Thieves did a little less than Spectres did. Spectres banned Senna. 101 Thieves did not ban Senna, so there goes game one. I don't think there's really much to talk about there. We had Senna, we had Hecarim. Okay,
Nice. Thumbs
Sorry.
up.
Second game, we did a little silly. If you missed it, we left Senna open so we could pick Hui because I wanted to play Hui. Hui was disabled, so we had to redo draft and left the Senna up again
Hold on, hold on.
because
I will sit here and take
we
the fall.
we
I did
requested.
sit here and call in the if you want a little leak into the Red Sharks draft, I was like, there's no way they fix Senna. I don't think they're intelligent enough to fix Senna. And it turns
You,
out
you
they
did
did
say
know.
that.
No.
I was like, I'll leave it up for Basin. I'll let him do a little egoing because I could just play Hui.
Yeah.
I could not play Hui. Critical oversight here.
Yeah, Wade
Um,
might have been a tiny bit disabled in that game too.
yeah.
So
So we ran the draft back. We picked Ziggs, a little bit of a different champion. But
did not matter in the
uh,
slightest. But
I don't know. My Ziggs is crazy. I don't know what to say here. We had the little Ziggs Tristana mid bot flex. We had the Jax flex open. We did blind Xin Zhao when Jax was up. Not a huge fan of that. I think Xin is a pretty solid champion if Jax and maybe Wukong are off the table. Like I think he's a solid performer, but you got to make sure that you're picking it in situations where it's really good because the champion is still kind of one dimensional. He has a huge
yeah,
upside later in the game when you do get this under Sky and you're able to just sustain yourself. The bruiser items are really, really good. But if you're able to have other champions that counter your champion
and also kind of
with
do
their
the thing that
kit,
you want to do. Yeah,
right? If they're doing the same thing you want to do and they have tools in their kit to deny you being a functional champion and can just build the same items, it is not as solid. We did see Cassante being blinded from Silico. I think that's a fun thing. I do enjoy a little Cassante, and the Clyde pick in the first game was really interesting. I'm glad we're still seeing some not as frequent champions coming out from Silico. I think that's something to look forward to from 101 Thieves. And the second game was definitely pretty close during the early parts of it, but I don't know. The Rift Shark solo lanes, I fear, have been looking quite good
yeah,
so far. But it's which is kind of different because if you look at MVP, the other team that has won a series so far, they were looking especially well in the jungle and bot lane. So it could be interesting to see when these two teams do end up playing each other, how it kind of works out. Because you'd expect some solo lane pressure from the Riftrix and jungle and bot to get stuff done on the other team. I think that will be a pretty fun matchup. If our predictions hold true, our power rankings, and those are the two teams at the top, I think we'll have some really exciting series throughout. But
yeah.
honestly, I wouldn't be disappointed if other teams do start showing up more and we get to see stuff. We obviously haven't gotten to see any Metabusters gameplay yet, so that is something I'm really looking forward to.
Yawn. I'll shoot, bro. Anyways, Metabusters hater, I guess. That's my job on this podcast, right? Team
Yeah,
sucks. Joke team. We'll have to see where it goes. I think they are playing this week,
yeah,
right?
they're playing MVP. Uh,
Okay, that should be a high matchup to
let's
watch.
go ahead and just do some predictions real quick. Hold on. I have somehow gained pop-up ads on Chrome that don't do
Dude.
anything. I'm trying to figure out where they're coming from. It's the lovely ones that say you have a virus, and then if you click "Let me fix the virus," then they actually give you a virus. Those are fun, but I don't know where it's coming from, and I don't actually have anything in my computer. So we might do a little fresh Chrome reinstall there, but I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see if it's a recurring issue. Um, but yeah, moving forward, Spectres is the team not playing this week, which means that we're going to see a double up from Andromeda, which is kind of interesting. I wonder if Stanley is going to play some games in before he does emigrate to Japan temporarily. But Rift Sharks versus Andromeda is going to start us off, and then immediately after that game, we're going to see Metabusters versus MVP. So I'm just going to go ahead and say Rift Sharks 2-0, half because I want it to happen and I'm confident in our team, and the other half because please let this series be a 2-0 so that we can stream Metabusters MVP and not have it be a whole ordeal. But I don't know. These games are 2 hours apart, team. It's a little rough. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
honest. Metabusters MVP. I think we probably have the same prediction here.
I'm gonna say MVP 2-0, but I don't think that's a hot take.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I would like to see some stuff come out from Metabusters. I think their bot lane is going to be really good
Yeah.
this season. Unfortunately, I think they're playing into another team that has a really good bot lane. And I think the top side of MVP is super strong. I do really want to see Tusini versus Valor, though. That lane is going to be so exciting to
Yeah.
watch here. If I'm not mistaken, what we've seen from Tusini is a bit more one-dimensional than what we've seen for Valor. He tends to play more of these assassin picks, so it'll be
Yeah.
interesting to see if Valor does stick to these kind of control mages, which tend to lose to the assassins if you're able to execute it right. That would be like, I don't know if that's like the more skillful thing, but it puts more of the onus on winning the game onto Valor because he needs to not feed. Or
Yeah.
if he just throws the gauntlet down, takes the assassin versus assassin matchup, we see some Silas Akali, stuff like that, Silas
Here you
Yone,
go. Here
something
you
like that
go.
would be really exciting. But that's my like soft pick for most exciting series of the week so
Yeah.
far. But just because we get to see Meta Busters for the first time
Yeah.
and the mid lane in particular, but Andromeda vs.
Uh,
100 Thieves, I think, could actually be really exciting. I think I was talking to Mason and said that was the one that I said was most exciting. So ignore what I just said. Uh, but
to be fair, I think that one's the hardest to predict. I
right,
think Andromeda versus 101 Thieves is actually pretty close. I'm curious to see because I have argued that, or um, I think there is like options for MVP to do like some lane swap, or not MVP, 101 Thieves to do some lane swap shenanigans between top and jungle. I think Jackson has played a decent amount of top
yeah,
historically, and Silico has also played a decent amount of jungle historically. Um, there's like some potential for that. Not entirely sure.
I
Um,
think putting Silico into Apari and putting Jackson into Arnie could be a pretty good strategy for them. I think it would be a
yeah, it kind
bit
of
interesting.
because I think it kind of shores up your like uh because Arya is good at like weak side kind of thing, and Jackson kind of can do the same thing, and then
Yeah,
Silica can kind of take over the map a bit better than Apari can, in my opinion.
yeah.
So
I also think that
I'm
makes your
curious to see
draft
how it goes.
way harder if you keep it open as a flex because
Yeah,
both of them have picks in
yeah,
um, a couple of roles that are pretty scary.
yeah,
So it kind of makes you overthink some stuff.
yeah. Silica on the
With
shakeout.
fear of of this being used in draft, Jackson's Cho'Gath is fucking disgusting.
Yeah,
Champion is a little good right now, so
yeah. A lot of
I don't know.
options.
Could be
Yeah.
interesting to
Yeah.
kind of see how that goes. But
You got any predicts for that one?
I'll do it for the culture. 101 Thieves 2-1. We'll see it.
Okay, I'll go
But
opposite then. I'll go Andromeda 2-0 for fun.
2-0. Okay, okay. Interesting. Um, but yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
if we have too much else to talk about here. We're not like that deep into the season, so I don't think there's like too many narratives to necessarily cover. We can just do a quick like initial meta read real
Analysis.
quick, and then
Yeah,
just do a short one this time.
yeah.
I think
30 minutes.
some former Nutbusters are going to be complaining to me if I do a short one, but we'll see.
You can just say PV, bro. You're allowed to just say his name. Speak
That's
his
true.
name.
That's true. That's true.
He will be summoned or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, this
Only champion with
perfect.
100% presence is Sana. Wow, so crazy. No way. It's almost as if this champion had a like 60% win rate or something. Wow.
Yeah, Blood Song was not balanced on this character. I think
Yeah.
clearly.
But yeah, I think Sana is pretty nerfed after the patch. I don't think she's bad. I don't think she's necessarily
Okay.
100% big ban like she used to be. Um,
Yeah.
her win rate has dropped about like 8% in the ADC role and has stayed about the same in support, if not gotten a little worse. And if you are playing Senna, you're not both able to have the support item, so you don't get the huge boost in gold that you normally end up with. I still think there's an angle to play some starving Senna, but the threshold is like a little rough, so you won't be able to farm that much. It'll have to be a more traditional support Senna.
Yeah.
But we could still see some of her. And then the only other champions that have higher than 50% presence are Xinjiao, Zax, Jax, and Syndra. Syndra was she did pretty well. I'm not gonna lie. We
Yeah.
had a good Syndra game. It didn't end up winning, but I think we have a lot of good Syndra players, which I think will drive her up to be high presence regardless. Like I think if we look
Yeah.
at last season, Syndra was like she was like fourth, and she's just banned all the time because people don't want to play into other players' Syndras. And then the junglers not banned as much, but we did see them show up in a lot of the games. Xin Zhao is actually 0% win rate and Jax is 75%, and I believe the only one he lost was his top lane game. So I don't know. Maybe Julian's cooking here, but I also think we're just
Champ did get nerfed, to be fair, so I don't know if it'll stick around. The
for
nerf wasn't too
Jax or
major, but yeah, for
okay.
Jax.
Well, Zen didn't get buffed, right?
No, Zin did not
Okay,
get buffed.
okay.
I think Titanic might be getting nerfed next patch, but I don't know how relevant that is for us right now. So
um, yeah, I don't know. I think this is a bit interesting. I think we just need to be a little more careful about when we're locking in Xin Zhao because I think he is a very powerful champion if you lock him in the right scenario. And
yeah,
I just don't think we're doing that. Am I going to leak what I think the correct scenarios are? Maybe not. So cope and seethe, I guess.
I don't know.
But
Yeah, I do think.
we can go lane to lane after this. But
Yeah, I think Jonah had the best Zinzao lock in, if I remember. Let me look real quick. I think
yeah,
I
I can
like
pull it
the
up real
spot
quick.
where he locked in Zinzao,
Uh,
but Wukong was still up. So
I like Caesarius a little bit, except for the fact that it was picked
yeah,
into the Jax. But
yeah,
I don't know. I feel like it made sense with the Twisted Fate. I think it was a really good pairing.
yeah,
The other games, you're kind of just I don't know.
yeah.
There's not really any synergy there.
Yeah. Typically, when you pick like Zinzao, you kind of want like an enchanter setup. It's sort of like Olaf, where it's like if you pick him with like an enchanter, it's kind of impossible to like stop him doing the thing that he wants to do. I think there's like a T9 game when LS was coaching where they locked in Zinzao and Ivern. It's like stuff like that, which
Yeah,
is really cool. But it's not necessary because we saw Julian pick a really good Olaf spot, so a little bit inflex, but like I don't know, it's just food for thought, you know. Zinzao, these like bruiser champions with like an enchanter setup are typically pretty good, so maybe we'll see that more. Who knows, really?
yeah. Well, we can go lane by lane a little bit.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a little fucked, so I'll just sort by. Or actually, okay, it won't show bans. Work in progress, TM slash I cannot be bothered. But
CBA, bro.
Riven is the only champion we've seen twice, which is actually really exciting. We've seen a lot of other top laners once. I believe this was Strago and Avery. Yeah.
Yeah, the two Riven
So
players. Not too surprising.
yeah, lots of variety in the top lane, which is honestly
Yeah,
super exciting. I mean, we have Silico and Blake as two of our top laners, so it's to be expected. To be clear, this
yeah,
is not something crazy. Moving on to jungle, I think pretty much everything we talked about, and these are all super standard picks. I don't think this is anything to really be surprised about. The Olaf is kind of interesting. And Trundle, I don't think we've seen as much of in the past, but it's a super solid pick in a lot of
yeah,
situations, and it does well into the other junglers that are meta. So I think that's
yeah.
pretty fine.
Uh, for the record, Udyr is at a 0% win rate team. So if you keep that in mind, this champion does suck. So
Yeah, and if we look, who hasn't played it, that'd be you. You have not played this champion yet. Or where is he? Down? He's down. I don't know. He's some direction. I'll just point all the different ways.
yeah,
But going over to mid, same thing. Lots of diversity here. The Triss, the Hui, the Galio are probably the ones that look a little weird to me right off the bat. Twisted Fate is pretty good.
yeah. TF did also get buffed. I do want to talk about this a little bit. There's like a crit builds that are going around. There's like AD builds, but
Yeah,
realistically, okay, I'll drop the hot knowledge on you guys. These builds are all bait. Just go fucking AP and then using the fact that they changed his W to be an auto attack reset. It actually makes your damage really fucking good. So if you just do that, champion's kind of broken right now. IMO, but that's a different conversation.
yeah. I
We'll
mean,
see.
we can argue if he even needed buffs in the first place, but oh
Yeah.
well. Anyway, Ori picked twice. Win loss, is what it is. I don't know.
Well, no,
Riven went the
nothing.
same way. Nothing too crazy. The three pick junglers are a little one sided, a little funny, haha.
Yeah.
Support though, we sleep. Many champions picked twice here. Pike Granada, Thresh, Tom Kench, Pantheon, all really fun though. I'm not like too mad about
Yeah.
these
A
showing
lot of
up,
explosive support
but
picks. So,
it's almost as if enchanters are really good, so seeing a lot of Sona and Soraka up at the top is not surprising. The Soraka performing really well, even though it was two losses for her, And then Leona being picked twice and winning both times is actually a little interesting, although it was Jacob 2 times within the same series. So I think that is likely just attributed to the individual player or team, and less so the champion. I think
Yeah.
other champs are good in the meta. I think Jacob played a really solid Leona game both times around, which
Mhm.
is cool to see something different from him. I think it's something that we've seen him perform well on in the past, but he does tend to stick to enchanters in most scenarios. But moving on to ADC, uh, God.
I sleep. I sleep. I'm so
So Varus touted as like the fucking like OP crazy champion going O2.
I
Karm-
still think this
Karmic
champion's so good.
Justice, I guess. I just think it's silly. I think he's
Yeah.
still good. I think people are just slamming him down without thinking, which is a common problem. Senna, really good. Actually did end up with a loss, which I guess is probably a little unexpected. And Seraphine going 2-1. I forget. Will
Like, do
was
you
the
think
other
Paris
one
is
who
actually
played
like not a
Seraphine.
great blind right now?
I think if you don't play around him correctly, it's rough.
Okay, that's fair. He's
Because
like a fine
right.
blind.
So if we look at, we can just look at the various games, but
Yeah, I'm curious.
Aphelios was really fun. I'm super glad I haven't pulled that one out. The Malzahar is a little interesting. We are seeing 5 mage picks out of 12 games, which is a little interesting.
Yeah,
But I don't know. I'm not a hater of mages in the bot lane. I think it's interesting. So look at these two. You have a Varus with no front line, and you built tank.
yeah.
No.
That.
And then on the other side, yes, this team comp is good. I forget what Honan built. I don't think he built on hit.
He built lethality this game. I'm pretty
Okay.
sure.
Okay. I think lethality Varus is a little overdone. Like you see it so much, and it always feels like it does nothing. Like it's probably fine, but it's like one of those
Yeah,
champions that just like doesn't look as good as it used to. But I think personally, I think that's me being biased because back when Lethality Verse was like good, like 3 years ago, you were like one-shotting people in lane with your Q, and they've shifted a lot of his damage
so his
towards
blight,
his
right?
pat right towards Blight, which makes on hit and AP Varus a lot better. So I think it's just all the options are closer than they used to be. I think on hit
Yeah,
Varus is exceptionally good right now. There's a lot of good items in the game for him.
yeah,
I do think this game was not as much like a bad drafting part on your end, but you do need to cover bans against like Evan and Psycho Carrot are both on their main champions. So
yeah,
it's hard to really get advantages on the Varus when the other people are just so comfortable on it. Honan super comfortable on the Varus as well, but I don't know. You're blinding it. They definitely had preparation for dealing with the Varus, and the Olaf just does such a good job there.
yeah.
But I do think
More of
this
a
game is
situation.
maybe not a Varus issue,
Yeah,
but I think the other one was definitely just poor utilization.
I was just curious.
Yeah.
Very fair, very fair.
Um, I don't know if anyone else has any ideas of what we could do. I guess we probably could have called for baked or based earlier on here, but
Oh, true. Well, we
it's what
should
it
get that
is.
one up for next week, TM.
Yeah. Let me real quick just check if we have any in the
Archives.
yeah. Nah, we got like 6.
Well, do the six real quick. We got time.
But
Bad. You can say that.
they're all just outdated. Like they were submitted previously.
Oh, I all feel like last season.
Yeah, it's something about there's like 3 about the Riot ID name change, and then 2 of them are like Spectre's playoff stakes. So
Ah, well, the rad ID change sucks. And if you have another opinion, you're wrong.
I like it because I can change my names without spending money.
True.
I say as I spent money to change your name before the Riot ID switch. But yeah,
Just have a bunch of blue essence. Name
I
changes are free.
yeah, I
Let's
think
be
we can just
honest.
call it. But
Yeah,
expect more TF, less cringe bot lanes. We'll actually get to see the ADCs play ADC, which thank God. I think we have a lot of really interesting bot lanes this season. I don't think there's a
yeah.
single one that I'm not excited for. Let
Agreed.
me plug the ones through my head to make sure. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure I'm excited about all of them. So I'm excited to
Yeah,
see people actually get to play AD carries. You have 7 seconds.
I'm good.
Okay, Mason has Siege
That
this
Buster
time.
sucks. There you
Oh
go.
my god. Okay, bye bye.